Alright, so back with another vlog. I just finished watching Bad Words, the dark comedy starring Jason Bateman and Catherine Hanna. I've been looking forward to this movie for a long time, and it did not disappoint actually. After seeing Neighbors earlier this week, it was good to see something that was funny, that didn't just hit below the belt, that was heartwarming and funny at the same time. From what I heard about this movie is that this was Bateman's chance to just do what he wanted with a film, and it was fantastic in my mind. I don't know why this movie has gotten shitty reviews from around the board. Then again, I'm a big Bateman fan. I liked him in Arrested Development, The Switch. Just he's a good actor when you put him in proper things. I even sort of liked him in Teen Wolf 2, in all honesty. Wasn't as good as Teen Wolf, but it was okay. He made it okay. This movie's about a 40-year-old guy who, due to a loophole, is doing spelling bees, and he's doing this because he wants to get revenge on his father, who knocked up his mom and just left him there. This movie's really funny and touching at the same time, in all honesty. In the movie, he develops this kind of like kinship with a younger contestant, and their scenes together are really, really funny. There's like a whole montage of them going out in the city and causing trouble, like stealing lobsters from a supermarket and putting them in a toilet. Them talking about the spelling bee. It was a really, really good movie. Catherine Hanna plays this reporter who at one point sort of turns into a love interest to Bateman's character, and she was good in this too. I find she didn't have a lot to work with. Like, her character's only in it for a few scenes. The gist of her character is asking Bateman why he's doing what he's doing, and then her having sex with him. And the running joke is that every time they have sex, she's like, "Don't look at me. Don't fucking look at me." It was a really funny movie. The first time I saw a trailer for this, I thought the only reason it was going to be funny was because Bateman just, like, tears up stupid people in the film. There's one point where this mother of a contestant tells him to stop doing what he's doing. He's like, "Take your cocksucker's son and shove him back up your dirty vagina," or something like that. He does do shit like that, but it's only on like one or two scenes. And the rest of it, the humor does just flow naturally from Bateman, and sometimes what he says and sometimes just his actions. He's a very charismatic actor, and he just oozes like charisma and stuff in this film. It is a fantastic film. It's one of the better dramedies that I've seen over the years. It's up there with like Little Miss Sunshine, or, from what a lot of people have told me, The Way, Way Back, which I'll be getting to do a vlog of that eventually. I just have to get around to watching it sometime. Another thing that was really good about this movie, I find, was that there was no villain. Earlier in the film, it looked like one of the people in charge of the spelling bee, that she was going to be a villain, played by Allison Janney, I think, or something. Looked like she was going to be a villain, but she is done away with very early on in the story, and I like that. What a lot of films get wrong nowadays is that they try to force a villain or conflict where there doesn't need to be a villain or conflict. From what I heard, Peabody and Sherman did it. Trying to think of what other movie off the top of my head forced conflict where there wasn't one. I can't right off the top of my head, but the only real conflict in this is the spelling bee, like him trying to finish the spelling bee. It does do one of those little melodramatic parts where he finds out that the little boy he's been like, bonding with this 10-year-old is working against him, like, trying to befriend him and make it so he would lose the competition, but they, once again, they quickly do away with that. They use it as, like, a quick part for a one-off joke. And then at the final round of the competition, they both work together to try to, like, make the other one win, by spelling their words wrong. In all honesty, it worked. Like, there wasn't any forced conflict, and it wasn't like Neighbors where the conflict that they had didn't matter at the end. He even says in this one that what he's doing, he thinks what he's doing is partially stupid. If he was a better person, he wouldn't be doing this. So this movie set itself up perfectly, in my mind. I can't really think of anything I didn't like about this movie. It's a little slow at some parts, but other than that, it's really good. It's up there with, like, comedy dramas that I've seen. I don't know why it's called a dark comedy, though. A dark comedy to me would be something more like Fargo or From Dusk Till Dawn or something. Something where it's a horror movie, but for some reason there's humor within what's going on, with, like, the absurdity of it, or with, like, characters' reactions. This does not seem like a dark comedy to me. This seems like a dramedy, because at times it wants to try to take itself seriously, with, like, Bateman's father, who's the national guy in charge of the spelling bee, knocking up his mother and leaving. And it does try to be serious, and I think maybe what some people had a problem with was that it doesn't explain a lot of Bateman's motivations in this. Like, they don't say why he's so good at spelling and why he's so smart. They just hint that he's a genius and could have a photographic memory or something. I don't want a movie to spell out everything for me. I kind of want there to be a little bit of a gray area where I don't know what's going on. That's why I prefer foreign films to most American films, because they've really dumbed down cinema for us Western audiences now, and I feel you need more directors making movies that they want to make, like this film by Bateman, or foreign films un-Americanizing them. I'm on this point because I watched the original Brick Mansions, the District B13, and it is superior to Brick Mansions. And I also watched 13 Beloved and 13 Sins. And there's something lost in translation between the original movies and the remakes. Something that it's like they think we're too stupid to handle what's given to us, or something, like we need everything spelled out. Like that Sunny in Philadelphia episode, where it's like every single scene has to have exposition explaining this. I don't really know. I'll do another vlog on that someday about the remakes, the foreign remakes to American stuff. Because probably the better horror movies I've seen would have to be some of the original Japanese horror films. Not the American remakes, but Ju-On, or the original Japanese Ring, or even, thankfully, the one that hasn't been remade yet, Suicide Club. The reason why I think Suicide Club is probably one of the best horror films ever made is because it doesn't tell you exactly what's going on, and the answer they do give you is so vague and mysterious that you're like, what the fuck? It's really, really good, and I hope that they don't remake it and fuck it up. I hope Hollywood continues this, hopefully it'll be a trend, of making just really good, solid indie drama movies. Because to me that seems to be the only really good place to watch movies anymore, is this, like, indie circuit. Out